Hello, you are watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm your host, Jugder Gambold. And for our top stories. President Khrushchev visits the manufacturer of metal parts and equipment situated in Luansan district, Hwabing province. Ulaanbaatar joins the UNESCO Creative Cities Network. Ulaanbaatar's need for sustainable coal ash management. For the news, stay tuned. President Khrushchev of Mongolia's 5-day official visit to Vietnam from November 1st to 5th, 2023 marked a significant milestone in strengthening diplomatic and economic ties between the two nations. The visit commenced with a warm welcome ceremony attended by Vietnam's top leaders. President Khrushchev emphasized the importance of the partnership between Mongolia and Vietnam, paving the way for deeper collaboration in areas of mutual interest.
During the visit, the Mongolian president and his delegation engaged in discussions with Vietnamese counterparts, including Vo Thuong and Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh. They explored various subjects from economic and trade partnerships to technology transfer and cultural exchange programs. The commitment to strengthen the bilateral relationship and identify areas of collaboration, including manufacturing, agriculture, and education, was evident. Notably, the visit included a tour of Vietnamese companies, including a vehicle equipment factory showcasing the potential for economic cooperation and technological exchange between Mongolia and Vietnam. These visits laid the foundation for future collaborations and bilateral growth. Cultural events highlighting Mongolia's rich heritage and traditions also played a pivotal role in fostering cultural understanding and people-to-people connections between the two nations. These events underlined the significance of cultural diplomacy in enhancing the overall relationship between Mongolia and Vietnam. The president embarked on a visit to Nissin Electric, a distinguished manufacturer of metal parts and equipment, situated in Luansan district of Hwabing province. The president, accompanied by a delegation of high-ranking Mongolian officials and Vietnamese dignitaries, arrived at Nissin Electric's facility, setting the stage for potential collaborations between the two nations in the field of manufacturing and industrial development. During the tour of Nissin Electric's state-of-the-art manufacturing plant, President Khrushchev and his delegation were given a first-hand look at the company's cutting-edge production processes, technological capabilities, and its commitment to producing high-quality metal parts and equipment. Nissin Electric, a subsidiary of the renowned Nissin Corporation, has earned a reputation for its precision engineering and advanced manufacturing techniques. The president's visit to Vietnam from November 1st to 5th, 2023 underscored the commitment of both nations in fostering a stronger partnership and creating opportunities for mutual growth and prosperity in the years to come.
On World Cities Day, UNESCO reported that 55 new cities have officially joined the prestigious UNESCO Creative Cities Network, a global initiative dedicated to promoting and celebrating the role of culture and creativity in urban development. These new network members are committed to integrating culture into their economic and social strategies while focusing on innovative, people-centric urban planning.
Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, is among the new additions to the UNESCO Creative Cities Network. It joins in the crafts and folk art category, showcasing its rich cultural heritage and artistic traditions. UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay expressed her excitement about the expanding network, stating, "The cities in our Creative Cities Network are leading the way when it comes to enhancing access to culture and galvanizing the power of creativity for urban resilience and development." The UNESCO Creative Cities Network now has 350 member cities from over 100 countries organized into 7 creative fields: crafts and folk art, design, film, gastronomy, literature, media arts, and music. These cities work together to foster creativity and cultural exchange on a global scale. The new cities in the network will collaborate with existing members to enhance their resilience in the face of various challenges including climate change, rising inequality, and rapid urbanization. The network recognizes that approximately 68% of the world's population is projected to live in urban areas by 2050, making creative urban planning and cultural integration more crucial than ever. The UNESCO Creative Cities Network also announced that the cities will be invited to participate in the 2024 UCCN Annual Conference scheduled by July 1st through 5th, 2024 in Braga, Portugal. The conference theme, Bringing Youth to the Table for the Next Decade, highlights the importance of involving younger generations in shaping the future of urban development and creativity. As these new cities from diverse corners of the world join the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, they bring with them their unique cultural expressions and traditions, contributing to a global mosaic of creativity, innovation, and resilience.
Ulaanbaatar, like many urban areas, has faced the challenge of managing the byproducts of coal combustion. Coal ash has accumulated over the years, presenting the city with a growing challenge.
Ulaanbaatar's thermal power plants are vital for the city's energy supply, collectively consuming a staggering 5 million tons of coal annually. This coal is the lifeblood of the city, providing the power needed to fuel its homes, businesses, and industries. Alongside immense energy production, the power plants generate a substantial amount of coal ash. Each year, approximately 500,000 tons of ashes are produced, consisting of fly ash carried up the plant stack by flue gases and bottom ash settling within the combustion chamber. Very little of these byproducts are processed and reused for other purposes. Over the last 55 years, Thermal Power Plant 3 has filled 5 ash ponds. Power plant administrators say that when the 6th pond is full, the plant will have no more space for disposal. All of the city's power plants face a similar problem.
We use around 1.5 million tons of coal from Bagnor coal mines annually, producing 150,000 tons of coal ash. We use water to clean the coal ash and transport it to ash ponds.
While Ulaanbaatar's 4 thermal power plants produce around 500,000 tons of coal ash per year, Gir area households on the outskirts of Ulaanbaatar generate 200 to 300,000 tons. Experts warn that power plant ash ponds and landfills will be full in 5 years, so there is an urgent need to reuse and process coal combustion byproducts.
Reusing coal ash to produce cement is a sustainable and environmentally responsible practice that has gained traction as a way to reduce waste and lower the carbon footprint of construction materials. Fly ash, which is a fire, powdery byproducts of coal combustion, can be used as a supplementary cementitious material. It is often added to cement mix. Our coal briquettes produce 260 to 280,000 tons of waste annually. We see the potential to process and reuse coal ash. We need consumers to adopt the habit of storing coal briquette waste and create a channel for collecting our byproducts.
Reusing coal ash for cement production is an eco-friendly and economically sound practice that promotes sustainability in the construction industry while reducing the environmental impact of thermal power plant operations.
Please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now here comes foreign news partnered with international news agencies. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Ramallah on Sunday. Blinken and his counterparts from Egypt and Jordan agreed on the need to do more to protect Palestinian civilians in Gaza, but a clear point of division emerged on the question of a possible ceasefire.
Israeli warplanes struck a refugee camp in the Gaza Strip early Sunday, killing at least 38 people and wounding dozens, health officials said. The strike came as Israel said it would press on with its offensive to crush the territory's Hamas rulers, despite U.S. appeals for a pause to get aid to desperate civilians. The Palestinian death toll in the Israel-Hamas war reached 9,400, according to the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza. In the occupied West Bank, more than 140 Palestinians have been killed in violence and Israeli raids. More than 1,400 people in Israel have been killed, most of them in the October 7th Hamas attack that started the fighting, and 242 hostages were taken from Israel into Gaza by the militant group.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese visited the 6th China International Import Expo in Shanghai on Sunday, where more than 200 Australian companies are represented. Chinese state broadcaster CCTV announced that Albanese had arrived in the Chinese financial hub Saturday afternoon, along with his delegations, becoming the first Australian Prime Minister to visit China since 2016.
The visit signals an improvement in strained relations between the two nations since Australia's centre-left government was elected last year. He was greeted by China's ambassador to Australia, Xiao Qian, and Australia's ambassador to China, Graham Fletcher. Albanese is scheduled to meet with Chinese Premier Li Qiang on Tuesday, whose message of congratulations soon after the Prime Minister's election victory on May 21st last year raised the prospects of reset in bilateral relations. Beijing has previously refused top-level ministerial contacts between the two countries. From the outset of his prime ministership, Albanese has demanded that China immediately lift what he described as unjustified official and unofficial trade barriers costing Australian exporters 20 billion Australian dollars, equivalent to 13 billion US dollars a year. Those barriers have since been substantially reduced and now cost around 2 billion Australian dollars. China is concerned by the level of restrictions placed on Chinese investment in Australia due to growing security concerns. Around 400 Australian executives who do business with China attended a lunch with Albanese in Shanghai on Sunday. During the three-day visit, Albanese will focus on reinvigorating the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement, resolving the remaining Chinese trade bans, and finding agreement on how to settle future trade disputes, his office said. Trade Minister Don Farrell, Foreign Minister Penny Wong, and an Australian business delegation are traveling with him. China is Australia's largest export market, particularly for iron ore, natural gas, and critical minerals such as lithium. Albanese has signaled that Australia won't back China's bid to join the Free Trade Agreement, known as the 12-Nation Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Thousands of villagers in the mountains of northwestern Nepal slept outdoors Saturday night in the bitter cold after an earthquake killed at least 157 people and damaged or destroyed most homes. Most of the houses in the villages in Jadakot district either collapsed or were severely damaged by the sudden earthquake Friday night, while the few concrete houses in towns were also damaged.
People used whatever they could find to set up shelter for the night, using plastic sheets and old clothes to keep them warm. Most people have been unable to retrieve their belongings from under the rubble. Most of those killed were crushed by debris when their houses, usually made by stacking rocks and logs, crumbled under the force of the earthquake, local media reported. In Jajarkot district, a mostly agricultural area, at least 105 people were confirmed dead, while 52 were killed in the neighboring Rukum district, officials said. Another 184 were injured. At the regional hospital in the city of Nebalkunj, more than 100 beds were made available and teams of doctors stood by to help the injured. Many of the casualties are children and female patients, and there are in large numbers, says the local senior orthopedic surgeon. The quake, which hit when many people were already asleep in their homes, was also felt in India's capital, New Delhi, more than 800 kilometers away. Earthquakes are common in mountainous Nepal. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake in 2015 killed some 9,000 people and damaged about 1 million structures.
The World Food Programme, or WFP, of the United Nations has issued a stark warning about the situation in Gaza, emphasizing that the aid flow, while increasing steadily, is falling far short of meeting the rapidly growing needs of the people there. Heartbreaking footage released by the WFP vividly showcases the extensive damage inflicted on Gaza during the recent conflict.
Local residents are reporting a dire shortage of essential supplies like fresh food and clean water. To address this, Israel has recently permitted over 70 trucks carrying aid to enter Gaza from Egypt through the Rafah crossing, the sole entry points not under Israeli control.
People are living in a horrific nightmare. Food and water are running out. A steady flow of aid is needed to meet the desperate needs now. Humanitarians must be able to deliver it safely, and civilians must be able to reach it safely. Without this, lives will be lost and conflict will spread.
Before the conflict, on average 500 trucks entered Gaza every day. The World Food Programme is now working tirelessly to provide vital support, distributing daily essentials such as fresh bread, date bars, and canned food to those in United Nations shelters and displaced families. Additionally, they are offering cash-based transfers, enabling people to purchase food from the few remaining open shops. We are suffering. Every day we are suffering. We are no longer familiar with vegetables. Tomatoes, cucumbers, potatoes have all been erased from our lives completely. We only have bread and water to quiet the kids so they sleep at night. This situation highlights the urgent need for continued support and assistance to help alleviate the suffering of the people in Gaza. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of collective efforts in times of crisis, both at home and abroad.
The Peace Boat, also known as Pacific World, is a 77,000-ton passenger ship owned by the non-governmental organization Peace Boat. It arrived at the port of Galata in Istanbul, Turkey, with peace activists on board who are advocating for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
The activists displayed a large banner with the words "Stop Killing Gaza" from the ship's deck, emphasizing the urgent need for humanitarian aid and services in the region. This message will also be showcased during the ship's final stop in Port Said, Egypt. Peace Boat, a Japan-based non-governmental organization, conducts educational voyages around the world to promote peace and sustainability, according to the organization's spokesperson. Regarding the conflict in Gaza, the Hamas-run Health Ministry in Gaza reports a Palestinian death toll of 9,448, while in the occupied West Bank, over 140 Palestinians have lost their lives in violence and Israeli raids. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees has reported that 72 of its staff members have been killed. Additionally, more than 1,400 people in Israel have been killed, with a significant portion of them in the Hamas attack on October 7th that initiated the conflict. A total of 242 hostages were taken from Israel into Gaza by the militant group. Since Wednesday, approximately 1,100 people have left the Gaza Strip through the Rafah crossing, seemingly as part of an agreement involving the United States, Egypt, Israel, and Qatar, which serves as a mediator with Hamas.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a good day.